Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Well, first of all, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here today. I'm about to introduce our mayor, who I know everybody knows, but I do want to point out that it's been since 2009 since this community has benefited from a State of the City address, and the timing couldn't be any better because we've been going through such turbulent waters financially and in many other ways as well. And so without revealing the mayor's speech, I do want to point out that what you're about to hear represents a turning point for our community. And it's so important that we have such a great attendance here today because there's a message here and it needs to be spread out throughout the community. And we all need to know where this community is headed. The mayor is our leader. He has the vision. He knows what the future requires for us to be a successful and prosperous community. So I'm very proud and very pleased to introduce Mayor Chris Vierra. And without further ado,
thank you, Mr. DeWerk. Before we get started, I want to say it's a pleasure to be here in front of you today. I think you're all special, but I wanted to take a minute to identify some of the dignitaries that we have out in the audience today. First of all, my council, we have Vice Mayor Ken Lane. Councilmember Brett Drossett. Councilmember Mike Klein. And Councilmember and former Mayor Eric Ingerson. From the Ceres Unified School District is Faye Lane. I didn't see if Faye's here. Lourdes Perez. I know Scott Siegel, Superintendent, is here. Thank you. And Jay Simmons, Assistant Superintendent. The County Supervisor, Jim DiMartini. And Frank Johnson with the NAACP. We have Planning Commissioners Hugo Molina. Lori Smith. Is Lori here? Okay. Bob Cashel. I see. And Dave Chapman. I saw Dave. Okay. And then we have the Measure H Committee, Chairperson Lisa Montero Moore. Thank you. Vice Chair Kathy Foster. No? Okay. John Silvera. Thank you. Randy Cerny. No. And then Kim Chapman. Nope. Okay. If I missed anybody, I apologize, but I did want to identify all of those individuals. They put a lot of hard work and dedication into this community, and without their help and assistance, the city wouldn't be what we are today. So with that, I would like to embark on my first State of the City address. Neighbors, good afternoon and welcome. It is my privilege to share with you this afternoon what our wonderful community has achieved together in the past year and share what we hope to achieve together in the coming months. I want to welcome all of our distinguished guests here today and thank everyone for your support and encouragement. My wife, Kelly, and my father and mother, Vernon and Sharon Vierra, are here today as well, and I want to especially honor their presence and support. Let me start off by saying I believe Ceres is unique. We have a community of people who take great pride in their city and neighborhoods. Many who have built homes, lives, families, and a legacy here, and I'm proud to say that I'm one of them. My family has lived in Ceres for over 100 years. Longtime residents are truly part Ceres, and Ceres is part them. We have a community where people work together to achieve. They rise up in times when things are difficult and reach their hands out to help each other through need and struggle. What I know about my Ceres neighbors is that they are dedicated to making this the best possible city. Not everyone understands the Ceres mentality, but for those of us who do, we know we are part of something very special. I'll be straight with you about the real challenges our community faces. Unemployment remains high throughout the Central Valley, and the state continues to bleed precious funds from our coffers. At the same time, Sacramento continues to pile on legal mandates that our cities and cities like ours have to operate and pay from shrinking budgets. Sacramento, as it reaps its fruit of out-of-control spending, is trying to solve its financial problems on the backs of the local governments, showing total disregard for cities like ours. Despite this, we have managed to minimize the damage from state mandates and a weak economy. Our city has been able to meet the community's needs for services, especially in public safety, and we have accomplished much despite the damage Sacramento continues to inflict on us. If you remember, the public safety half-cent sales tax, Measure H, was approved 5 years ago. We can see it was a good thing for our voters to support this measure. Most communities in our area have lost firefighters and police officers, but because of your insight, the voters, not only have we managed to avoid sworn personnel layoffs, we have been able to increase the number of police officers and firefighters who keep our streets, property, and most importantly, all of us safe. Our first job as local government is to provide our citizens with the basic services that our community counts on every day. I'm happy to say that we are doing that quite well. Ceres fire and police operations have excellent service records, as do our public works and recreation departments. We rank among the top of communities similar to ours for efficiency and spending of taxpayer dollars. This is being done in the wake of having lost some 25% of our revenues. City staff has been reduced by nearly 20%, and the state, which has, without apology and in a brazen fashion, taken our redevelopment funds. The loss of redevelopment funds seriously hamstrings our ability to improve our community image and achieve quality growth. However, our small city has gotten a lot done. Ceres now has its long-awaited Whitmore overpass. After years of dealing with challenging bureaucracy and an unstable funding source, our engineering department, working closely with Caltrans, was able to complete this project on time and under budget. The overpass has made travel much more efficient and is a gateway linking the east and west portions of our city. The engineering department has aggressively pursued federal and other funding sources to complete over 2 miles of street overlays. We have 2 new segments of the Hatch Bike Path, Payne to Central, and Mitchell to Booth Road. The River Bluff Regional Park picnic and playground area is also something to be quite proud of. If you've not had a chance to see these improvements, I recommend that you take your family and check them out. We have worked particularly hard this year to make our streets better and safer. Our departments have replaced numerous street signs, more than 80 traffic signs, and repaired 158 street lights. We processed nearly 1,900 customer service requests and improved sidewalk safety in hundreds of locations. We solved a major flooding problem on 8th Street between Park and Lawrence, and worked with PG&E to replace all of our street lights with new LED versions. We've installed numerous stop signs, stop bars, and legends in the Eastgate subdivision. We know Ceres residents want safer streets and traffic conditions for our children. We have stepped up our efforts to make this happen. I want to note that finishing these projects represents an extraordinary accomplishment for any city, let alone one with such limited staff as ours. We now have a new metered water billing system. All Ceres users now receive metered water. With this new system, the city meets the state's requirements for conservation of one of our most precious resources, water. This system also allows customers to monitor their water usage online in real time, giving us a better understanding of our water consumption and control over our utility costs. The redevelopment staff financed over $500,000 for the Barber's sewer lift station. New curbs, gutters, sidewalks, and drainage were also constructed downtown, in addition to the completion of the 4th Street parking lot, which you see adjacent to this building. The wastewater division and engineering department brought a new $3 million Headworks project online. The Headworks is a central collection point for the entire city of Ceres collection of sewer. The improvements eliminated a major restriction in the capacity of the sewer system and provided for tremendous upgrades to the operational efficiency of the sewer system. The system is now capable to flow freely and provides facilities to meet our current and future sewer capacity needs. The finance department implemented an online payment system which gives the citizens of Ceres 24/7 access to view their utility bills. This system has been in place since August of 2011 and has become extremely popular with our customers, and nearly 3,000 subscribers are actively using the system on a daily basis. I would encourage all residents to visit the website and learn more about this free service. I'm proud to report that our public safety department is doing a great job making our community safer and more secure. Our fire department has achieved a major accomplishment in being awarded a SAFER grant, which will fund 6 additional firefighters for 2 years. In fact, the new firefighters officially begin today, so I'm pleased to welcome them to the Ceres family. The success of this grant has been a payoff to the risk and creativity shown by the council to improve services to our city in the face of tough economic times. The safety of Ceres businesses has been enhanced by our fire safety inspection program. Because of this program, 99% of business now meets safety compliance standards. Our firefighters responded to over 4,000 calls for service during 2012, of which 3,000 were for medical rescue calls. Our firefighting efforts saved some $7.5 million in property losses alone. As the department fought fires, handled emergency calls, and other requests, many people received life-saving treatment. One of the most prolific fire division events recently was the explosion of the residential home, which also damaged 5 neighboring residents. We had 5 homes on fire at the same time, which tested our department's abilities and resources to the maximum. I am happy to say no fire personnel or civilians were injured in this event. Violent crime, robbery, and auto theft have decreased by 12% over the past year. Auto thefts alone have decreased by 38%. In keeping with Measure H, we added additional sworn staff to the police department along with a crime analyst. Using Measure H funding, our police department improved its ability to solve crimes using newer, better technology. Our proactive high-tech investigators were able to use this technology in investigations that resulted in the arrest and prosecution of 6 subjects accused of child pornography. We were also recently awarded a COPS grant, which funded the hiring of an additional police officer. The police department is working at unprecedented levels of cooperation with other agencies to make communities safer. Boundaries aren't as important as what it takes to make our community safe. They were successful in dismantling a notorious street gang that is linked to violent crimes and has been implicated in trafficking of drugs. With the lead of Ceres police investigators and the help of local, state, and federal agencies, this was the first investigation that Ceres Police Department has ever completed of this magnitude, and it is one of the most successful gang investigations in Stanislaus County in recent history. The department continues to be successful in its efforts against legal drugs, and to date has seized nearly 14,000 pounds of marijuana and is proactively addressing drug-related activity to clear thousands more pounds of marijuana from our community. Through the completion of several major investigations, the department has seen declines in violent crime. And our officers are bringing down crime without increasing their use of deadly force. In fact, the NAACP formally recognized our officers for their judicious approach and constraint in the use of deadly force. Our force is smart, focused, and increasingly sophisticated. We enjoy a great way of life here in Ceres. This year, our Recreation Division worked to provide the families of Ceres with quality programming. There is something for everyone, from toddlers to seniors. This year alone, we have served over 5,000 participants and are continuing to expand our programs through a collaboration with Ceres Unified School District, the Ceres Chamber of Commerce, city sports leagues, service organizations, and the Ceres Community Collaborative. This year, we also saw record numbers in our aquatics and dance programs and also brought back our highly successful adventure camp. These programs provide job opportunities for young adults and help develop our future workforce. This community center has become the heart of the community life. It's booked every week and by our local businesses, community organizations, and our families. Over 24,000 people visited this community center or the American Legion Hall last year, and we continually look for opportunities to expand. At the same time, we understand how important it is to strengthen our sense of shared life as neighbors, even during tough economic times. That is why we work hard to provide free events to our citizens and safe entertainment for our families. Our city provides support for the Ceres Street Fair, stages concerts in the park, Arbor Day events, and conduct our popular Halloween festival and city Christmas celebration, which drew thousands of patrons every year. As a city, we are becoming leaner, greener, and more efficient, investing the hard-earned money of our citizens wisely. Late last year, the council directed staff to seek ways to conserve energy and money by making certain infrastructure improvements. One highly successful project involved the conversion of all city streetlights to a 100% LED system. Electricity cost savings alone are expected to be $130,000 annually, and we project that we will still save an additional $80,000 annually on maintenance costs. The city now leaves a smaller carbon footprint. Not only are these lights saving us money, they are also brighter than the ones that we have replaced, which improves safety in the evening. Everything is being examined to see how it can be made better and more efficient. For example, electrical outlets were installed in the police department parking lot to eliminate the need for idling vehicles to keep police electrical equipment from draining vehicle batteries. This reduces wear and tear on the vehicles while sparing the air. The Facilities Division has implemented a number of upgrade projects, including the installation of a number of energy-efficient fixtures across city facilities. These new fixtures provide better lighting and are energy efficient, saving approximately $24,000 a year annually in energy costs. By obtaining a federal grant, the engineering department was able to retime and synchronize 28 traffic signals throughout the city. The synchronization of traffic signals on Hatch Road, Whitmore Avenue, and Mitchell Road resulted in significant improvements in travel time, reduced stop delays, lower vehicle emissions, and decreased fuel consumption. It is estimated and reported in a study that we had conducted that these improvements will lead to an annual savings of over $1.3 million by motorists. We're also taking city government more efficient through better information technology. Upgrades to the city's servers and to the financial system have resulted in shorter processing times and improved output. We've begun implementation of CopLink, Ceres PD's new crime analysis system. To enable the crime analyst to function more efficiently, we obtained technology that enabled the police division to allocate resources more efficiently. We are already seeing the positive impacts of these changes in how effectively we can solve and prosecute crimes. Sales and property tax are the major funding sources for our city's basic services. And it is vital that we have thriving business, that our community is attractive and safe, and that people have great reasons to buy their goods and services in Ceres. Without healthy business activity, the community becomes crippled, losing life, strength, and vitality. In a time when so many cities are in critical condition, Ceres is in a healthier financial position than many of its peers. At the same time, we must follow a rigorous and realistic economic development plan that works to preserve businesses we already have and attract businesses we want in order to create jobs and a truly healthy economy. The Planning and Building Division has been working hard on the Mitchell Ranch Center project, a major undertaking with high stakes for the city. The project will be anchored by a Walmart supercenter and will feature 300,000 square feet of space for retail and commercial use, including a number of areas for quality restaurants. The City Council's approval of this project is being challenged in court, and as a result, the city cannot anticipate when this project will be built. However, when constructed, we believe this project will spur other retail development projects and result in many new employment opportunities for our community. The West Landing specific plan was also approved by the City Council this past year. The project consisted of annexation of approximately 960 acres and includes areas for retail and commercial use. It also includes a business park and various residential development options. Also included within the West Landing area are properties that are owned by G3 Enterprises, as well as Stanislaus County facilities such as the Public Safety Center, Ag Center, and Community Services Agency. The city expects this large area is where a majority of our growth will take place over the course of the next 20 to 30 years. In the calendar year 2011, the city's building division issued 568 building permits, and our current 2012 activities are on pace for a similar number of building permits. However, it is worth noting, during that same time frame, not one building permit was issued for a new single-family residential home in the city of Ceres. But there are signs of hope, as inquiries have been made over the past few months regarding vacant lots within existing subdivisions. In fact, one developer has even submitted building plans, and it's possible that as many as 60 new single-family residential homes could be built this next year if the developer elects to move forward and there is a market demand for construction of these homes. Through economic development and redevelopment activity, although economic development and redevelopment activities have been curtailed by Sacramento's efforts to eliminate redevelopment agencies, there is still hope for the city to benefit from existing resources. City staff is diligently working with state officials to complete the necessary steps that would enable the city to utilize the nearly $14 million of bond proceeds to accomplish renewed economic development goals for a stronger economic base for our city. In response to our need to focus seriously on economic development over the next 12 to 18 months, I've created a jobs committee which is chaired by Councilmember Mike Klein. Through this committee and other efforts by staff, the City of Ceres is repositioning itself for increased economic development by working more closely with our Chamber of Commerce and the Stanislaus Alliance for Workforce Development to attract the kind of businesses our community needs. At the same time, city staff has increased its level of customer service, responsiveness, and efficiency, despite the loss of so many positions. Of particular focus is the way the permitting process is handled with businesses wishing to start up or relocate to Ceres. We have implemented a team approach with prospective businesses to ensure success and to minimize inconvenience, lag time, and bureaucracy. My council colleagues and I recognize the difficult times we are in, and in order to compete with other communities just like ours, we must be responsive, assertive, and have shovel-ready properties available. Leaner, smarter, faster, and better is the new normal for how we will do business in Ceres. I'm proud of how our teams have committed themselves to making things work for our neighbors, despite the massive challenges we've faced these past few years. I want to be sure to note some key achievements of our schools, since economic development, workforce development, and education all go hand in hand. This year, Ceres schools had the second highest achievement gains on the Academic Performance Index in Stanislaus County. The Westport Elementary School was named a National Blue Ribbon School for Academic Achievement and earned the Title I Academic Achievement Award for 2011. This achievement, among many others, marks a decade of continual improvement of our schools, and I acknowledge Superintendent Scott Siegel and the district's Board of Trustees and all the men and women who do their part to educate our children. We need an educated and developed workforce for job growth. Earlier this year, the council and staff conducted a planning workshop, which led to the establishment of key priorities. Even in an environment of severe, difficult budgets, the council and I decided it is imperative to push ahead with the vision, with new goals and priorities. These areas of focus include economic development, particularly capital projects, new green energy initiatives, and enhancing our image and attractiveness to businesses. In addition to these priorities, we need to pay attention to building the infrastructure that will be vital to our future. If we only gaze at the economic threats we face today, our community will stagnate with no hopes of progressing forward. As leaders, we must set out to protect what we have and to look to the horizon so that we can make gains for our future. Economic development is our top priority. The council and I want to lay the foundations necessary for growth and prosperity for this community. To do this, we need to focus our efforts in key areas. First, we must ensure that we make capital investments in the right infrastructure for the economy of the future. We will focus on advancing the Mitchell Interchange, a major capital project which will help create a new commercial center, for our city, maximize the business potential of the Mitchell Road corridor, advance our plans to develop west of Highway 99, and help us create a distinctive and positive identity. If we don't take the necessary steps now, we will not have a chance later to develop this needed resource. Second, we need to position ourselves to participate in and benefit from the new energy economy. We need to pay attention to the next wave of economic development in our valley and be ahead of the pack by aggressively finding ways to help businesses and our city improve efficiency and take advantage of new technologies. We need to identify and develop green initiatives that pave the way for how everyone in this state will need to do business as resources become more scarce and energy becomes more costly. Doing this will also position our city as a forward-thinking place to live and do business. Thirdly, we need to address blight and create the right image for our community. The perception of Ceres does not reflect who we really are, but we can change that. We're working on a marketing plan for our city to better attract investment in our community. We need to back up this marketing effort by implementing concrete changes that beautify and revitalize our public spaces. We are developing volunteers who will help address blight, and moving forward, we will continue raising development standards for the city that reflect our positives and the city we would like to become. Businesses want to be confident in the image of the community because the community's image is their image. Related to these priorities in economic development, I want to focus attention on our water security. A secure, dependable supply of safe drinking water is vital to having a livable community. We can no longer rely on the treatment of groundwater. We must make investments in infrastructure for treating and acquiring a reliable water source for the benefits of future generations of Ceres residents. Securing this water supply is a critical responsibility of this City Council, and we are working to advance the Surface Water Project by actively participating in the Stanislaus Regional Surface Water Authority Board, which is a joint powers authority made up of the cities of Ceres, Turlock, and Modesto to address the future needs of our cities. Looking out into the distance, I must admit, things are cloudy and unclear. The impending presidential election will have an impact on our economy one way or the other. In Sacramento, a culture that seems deaf to the concerns of cities leaves us all with the nagging question about what drastic cut or program change will hit Ceres and her neighbors next. There still remains a multi-billion-dollar deficit. Whether the governor's sales tax proposal passes or not will have significant implications for our local governments and our schools. Yet when I look into the distance, I look out with eyes of hope. There are signs that things are changing. We are seeing the first signs of construction projects starting to come back to life. Sales tax revenues have been increasing slightly, and the housing market, while still very feeble, appears to be stabilizing. By no means is our community teetering on the edge of a doomed future or bankruptcy. In fact, despite the worst economic times we have seen in this land for the greater part of 100 years, despite the gridlock of Washington, despite the slash and burn edicts of Sacramento that have drained resources from our community and our sister communities, Ceres, through its leadership, common sense, and care, has managed its resources wisely and has served its citizens well. I, our council, and all of the city teams are not only committed to protecting the way of life we have now, but making the sound decisions and investments needed to improve the quality of life and achieve financial security in the future. Ceres is different. I like to imagine a Ceres that continues to have its neighborly hometown feel while becoming more beautiful, more vibrant, more prosperous, and the type of place where people move in order to have a great quality of life. I thank all of the people who work on behalf of our community, who share that vision, and invite all of you to imagine with me. I look forward to all of us working together to maintain the foundations we've laid, and upon them, build the progress of a special city. Thank you for all coming today, and I appreciate everyone being here. At this time, I will be opening up for any questions or answers that anyone might have for myself or any of the other city staff. Thank you. With that, I guess I'll turn it over to the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor Vierra. Well, we still have a few cookies left over, some waters, and I know there's a lot of people who have told me personally they'd like to say a few things to the mayor, so he'll be available circulating around, and But that concludes the formal part of the speech event today. And you've been a wonderful audience, and we thank you very much. But please feel free to stick around for a bit. And there's plenty of city staff here, firefighters, police, representatives from all city departments. And I do want to thank the Sikh community. You're always so supportive. Thank you for being here today.